story is a little bit interesting. So a friend of a friend I always thought was very cute. He knew I existed, I knew he existed, but nothing ever came of it. Well, my friend always wanted it to be a thing because she absolutely loved him. Like, they were really good friends and she was always rooting for us. So finally one day we match on Bumble, which is just the perfect scenario. No one really had to make a move. It just kind of happened naturally. I'm asking my friend, I'm like, do you think he knows who I am? She's like, yes, definitely. I was newly single at the time. I had just gotten out of a marriage and I just started dating again and putting myself back out there. His first message to me was very long and very serious. He immediately starts telling me how he's not ready to be a dad. That makes him really nervous about dating me. He doesn't want anything to ruin his friendship with my friend. He was just going on and on about these concerns. I really tried to ease his concerns, telling him, like, my daughter has a dad. You would not be in her life for a very long time if we ended up dating. Yes, eventually you would be in a father role for her, but that would be way down the line. Next day, he unmatches me. Fast forward a year, we match on Tinder. And I'm so excited because I never got closure. I just figured, like, he went back and forth in his mind about it and was like, I don't want to date someone with a kid. So the first couple of messages on Tinder seem fine and flirty. He once again immediately starts going into, I don't want to be a dad. I'm not in a place in my life where I'm looking for someone with a kid, blah, blah, blah. But if you're open to it, I'd be willing to go on a date and just kind of see where things go. Which to me seemed like the perfect compromise. You know, we start texting and I sent him an audio message basically being like, I just want to be clear, like, I am not looking for something casual here. I am at a place where I'm looking for something serious. And if you're not wanting that, then I don't think we should go on this date, because if we have a good time, I will develop feelings for you. And if you don't want the same thing, I just want to be clear with my intentions. He immediately was like, I have been very clear with my intentions with you. This isn't going to work out. And I would just like to say, no, he wasn't. Never did he ever say, I do not want to date you. I am only interested in a hookup or something casual, however you want to say it. He was the one that was like, let's just go on a date, see where it goes, whatever, which I should have interpreted that as not looking for something serious, but sorry. So then I'm like, okay, you know what? It's not that serious. I just want to go on a date with this guy. He was stuck in my head so bad. I had this person created and I just needed to sit across from him at a table and figure out if he was actually like that or not. So I texted him and I'm basically like, okay, you know what? Let's just go to dinner and see how the vibes are. So we go on a date. Our date was 3 hours long. And I tell you that I was talking the entire time. I'm not exaggerating. Like, my throat was sore after that date. And not for the reason you think. I had all the closure I need after that date. And I was like, wow. You know what? I'm actually really glad that I did that, because I actually never want to see that man again. Well, my friend had a birthday party a few months after that. We had not spoken. But, you know, I was a little tipsy. I was feeling myself. And I'm like, okay, well, I know I don't want to be in a relationship with him, but, like, let's circle back to the being casual thing. So at my friend's birthday, I go up to him and ask him if he wants to kiss. Before that, I say to him, how do you feel like our date went? And he was like, I think it was good. What do you think? And I was not honest with him because I did not want to hurt his feelings. But I was just like, I thought it was fine. And then towards the end of our conversation, I was like, would you still be open to kissing me? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, okay. So we were heading to our next location of the birthday party, and I rode in his car and we kissed a little. He ends up dropping me off at the bar and then heading home. I texted him the next day and said, I enjoyed kissing you last night. He said, I did too. I said, let's do it again sometime. He said, I'm really not convinced that this is what you want. That's when I let him down easy and I said, I'm gonna be honest with you. I did not have a good time on our date. I thought we did not vibe. So that gave me the closure I needed on that end of things, and that made me feel more open to doing something casual because I know there will be no feelings attached. And I never heard from him after that. My takeaways from this date: I'm very glad that I went on the date, got the closure I needed. I'm also glad that I kissed him because I felt like that gave me a sense of closure as well. If it was meant to be, it would be. And I do not regret putting myself out there and seeing if it was something that I wanted to pursue.
You know, I thought it'd be better a year and 2 months after all of this. But the more facts I find out and the more reassurance I get and the more proof I get that I was right all along, I only get more and more righteous anger and just need to yap about it. So this is my time and this is my space. I'm gonna give you the story time on how my fiance of 2.5 years cheated on me. Here we go. I met my ex-fiance in high school. We were, senior year sweethearts. We went to prom together, boom, boom, boom. Met her mom, met her dad, met her mom's side of the family, dad's side of the family, went to family outings, boom, boom, boom. January of 2024, I sit down with her parents and I'm like, I want to propose. I really like this girl. And they're like, oh my God, we love you. You have our blessing, boom, boom, boom. March of 2024, I pop the question. She says yes, oh my God. And then August of 2024, calls it off. Cold shoulders me, doesn't want anything to do with me, fell out of love, just thinks that we'd be better as friends, wants to be poly, a whole bunch of excuses. All stemming after a trip with her girlfriends to the Thousand Islands. So while she was at this trip at the Thousand Islands with her girlfriends, she stumbled upon some guys who were fishing, told me all about it, how they were fishing and they were kind of interacting with each other, boom, boom, boom. Didn't think anything of it. I was working 6 days a week in order to make enough money for myself, for her, for us to do stuff together, and I was giving her my 1 day out of the week to interact with her. But she was on vacation. She was at the Thousand Islands. Whatever. And then after the trip, she tells me about this friend, Steven, or Steph. And I'm going to use his real name because I don't give a fuck. Steven. Oh, I've known Steven since January of 2024, but you never told me about him. Oh, he's demisexual. I didn't ask. Oh, well, he's going to come over and we're going to build Legos. You're going to what? So I was like, okay, because I noticed that she's been distant, not answering my calls, being active on Snap, but not texting me. Just a bunch of fucking red flags that I couldn't see because I had rose-tinted glasses on. When you have rose-tinted glasses on, you only care about preserving the relationship, especially if you have no self-respect like I did. So then August comes around and she's like, I don't think I want to be together anymore. I think I need space. And I respect that. We spend one more day together. We're making out, cuddling, I make her breakfast, I help her clean up her room a bit, boom, 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 say goodbye to the family, say goodbye to the pets. I'm fucking crying, y'all! I'm so heartbroken, I'm like, no! It's not supposed to be like this! And then, I hear a knock at the door. I go to look at the door, it's fucking Steven holding Legos! This motherfucker's here when I'm about to leave and my ex is trying to rush me out the door like, oh, you need to go. This is just a break. I love you. Mama, please go. And doesn't answer my phone for the whole night. Oh my God. No. So I'm distraught. And then she starts cold shouldering me even more. Says, don't follow her. Don't text her. She wants absolutely no contact. Boom, 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 boom. I am so heartbroken and fucking fucked up about all of this that I just shut down. I just respect it. No contact. I'm gonna try and do my own thing. Started healing, started talking to other women, boom, 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 boom. Moved on with my life. My life goes on. I am way more happy than I have ever been. Got more self-love, more self-respect. I actually do stuff that I want to do and I have taken control of my life. I love it. It's a good thing that this has happened to me. But it's still fucked up. So then, a little birdie tells me about how Steven started dating less than a month after me broke up. And that same little birdie told me that Steven met each other at the Thousand Islands when fishing. Remember that male group that they met? Steven was fucking there. And that's apparently the first time they ever met. So she lied about knowing this motherfucker back in January. Not to mention that this little birdie told me how... Run it back! Not to mention, this little birdie told me that my ex was texting Steven on Snapchat every fucking day, every aching second. And when they pressed her about it and are like, you have a fiance, does he know this? Oh, well, he's demisexual. Oh, well, he's just a friend. Oh, we're just talking. Oh, we're just talking. Right. Two things. After me and my ex talked to each other after she went to the Thousand Islands and was acting shifty, I took her out for a date. We got our nails done. Matching gel polish. She got acrylics, I got gel polish. It's kind of cute. Steven posted something recently. A picture of my ex. Bra and panties on the sink. Holding her phone, showing off her nails. And it's interesting because the nails she had were the same nails that I had, our matching set. And I've never seen that picture. Right. Okay, and this is like weeks before we broke up, by the way. This is like middle of July, before the beginning of August. Second red flag. I got her engagement ring in March. I asked her for her ring size in February. Nonchalantly, of course, because I didn't want her to know. And all of a sudden, she's not wearing her fucking ring. Oh, well, it's too big, and sometimes it squeezes my finger, so I don't wear it. Fine with me. I'll get you either sized up, or I'll get you a new one. In the meantime, here is a silver chain. Wear your ring around your neck. Oh, okay. Doesn't wear her ring. Not wearing her ring anymore. But you know where she was wearing her ring? Around her fucking neck. At the Thousand Islands. Oh my fucking god. You mean to tell me this motherfucker, oh my god, he knew? He knew she was engaged? As a grown man? This motherfucker's like 23, by the way. I'm 21. I was 20 at the time. She was 19. He's like in his early fucking 20s. And he's talking to engaged women. Oh, you're such a fucking bum. You are talking to engaged women who have their partner's ring around their neck. Please go swimming in cinder block shoes. So here's the kicker. I love karma. And karma loves me. I'm glad that the universe works in its mysterious ways. I accept it. I don't even question it. If it happens to me, I most likely deserve it. And this was one of them. My ex really, really likes Steven. To the point that Steven is actively disrespecting her family in front of her in their house. Calling her sister slurs, being absolutely disrespectful and inconsiderate of the family members' time, of their outings, of their boundaries. He's a piece of shit. My ex doesn't give a fuck. Doesn't care. Makes excuses for him. To the point, in less than a year of dating, she moves out and moves in with Steven. It really just makes me think, and y'all should consider this too. Is the person I'm interacting with really this person, or are they someone else? Because sometimes time and other people will show you who you have around you and who they really are. And it's up to you to take the signs for what they are, understand who they really are, and accept that. Either you want to be with someone who you know is a shit person, or you want better for yourself and you choose to cut people out of your life who only seem to use you, harm you, hurt you, neglect you, manipulate you. You gotta make your choice. You gotta do what's right for you, baby. And if you think being used up is right for you, bless your heart.
Being a pretty hun is so hard in this day and age, because let's talk about the time where a gay guy invited me, literally made himself my friend, and invited me to a club multiple times, only for him auction. Me being at the club with him was me being auctioned. Let's get into that story time. I haven't given you guys a story time in a minute. Before we do that, let's take an energy shot. So this story goes all the way back to the time where I just, discovered that I was a hun that was a spec, right? I'm a hun that's a spec, and I'm new in the city basically because Banganga's route. And when I tell you that Indaba Club Valley was never my thing. So where I grew up in an area where there was no clubs growing up. Like in primary, there was no clubs. It was a dead place. If you grew up in Mpumalanga, in Mpumalanga, and anyone who knows me and knows my story times knows that when I got to varsity, that was my green card that said, Ntombam Phila. It's time for you to live the Joburg life. And I did not take that lightly. I literally lived. So I'm in university once again, and in Pilo, I am already now used to, I've been introduced to the club life. But when you're introduced to the club life, as in you go once in a while when it's a friend's birthday, or it's never just the thing of, let's just go. So one day, there's this girl, we're gonna call her Nikki, because she kind of looked like Nicki Minaj. She was like, she was half Nigerian and half Costa. If you know that Congo, you know. I met Nikki in Greenside. I met her in Greenside. She was with her friends. She came up to me. She's like, "You're such a pretty hand. Can we follow each other on Instagram and get to be friends and all of that?" I thought that was weird, But she was really pretty, and you know, I'm a girl's girl, so of course I had to and all of that. And after that, she called me to the section to come and have shots. She called me to a table to come and have shots, and we had shots. She with other people. There was like 10 girls and like 6 boys there. They were having a time, but I was also with my friends who were also having a time. If I do say so myself. Now Nikki follows me on that day, and then she follows me. I kid you not, she followed me like on the day, right? The next morning, about 4 of the people that she was with on that table, they all followed me. And 2 of them were guys and 2 of them were girls. They all followed me. We're gonna call the other girl, the second girl, who was Nikki's best friend, we're gonna call her Manaj. So Nikki follows me and she sends me a text. She's a very sweet girl. Like, she sent me a text like, how are you? Did you get home safe yesterday and all of that? And then she asked me if we could go for lunch. Now she says to me she'd like us to go for lunch, but it won't be just me and her. It's going to be me, her, and Manaj. And we're gonna call, they had a gay friend. We're gonna call her gay friend Smith. If you are a Joburg Han, you would know the combo that I'm talking about. But because I'm full shower, and because I can't fight, we will not give them their real names. I agree. I'm like, cool, let's go for lunch. And I'm like, you know, okay, no, that's fine. She asked me, I asked her when. She's like, no, today. But don't worry, you don't have to pay for anything because my friend Smith is hosting where we're going to be having lunch. It's a very cute spot, and I'm like, oh, I'm down for it. So then Manaj has followed me, and I go through Manaj's page. When I go through Manaj's page, guys, Manaj is Dina. She is one of those girls who is like, at that time she was a influencer but not that big, but now she's very big in the influencer space. And Yabona J, she's a very, I hate to say this, but she's always caught up in drama with Buti Bankale. She always has a story coming out with Buti Bankale. So I agreed to having lunch with them, and my friend is like, let me know. The girl Nikki is like, let me know if you need Uber or anything like that. I will sort you out. Lunch was going to start around 3 p.m. It was going to be a very light lunch, and I remember very well, guys. Sasia Ejemeli, he was the gay guy, was hosting at Jemeli, the friend Smith. I get to Jemeli, and she's already told me like there was a dress code on that day. It was all white. It was like an all white brunch type of thing happening. I get there, and the table that we were sitting at, was so full when I arrived. But when I tell you, so if you know Gemeline upstairs, they had like a long table that was just for them. I think there was like 20 people there. When I entered at Gemeline, I told my friend that I had arrived. Guys, 3 men stood up for me to sit. 3 men stood up and were ready for me to sit down. I thought that was a bit weird, but you know, anyway, I ended up sitting next to this girl because I didn't know anyone over there. And might I say, the honeys that were at that table, I had to look at myself, it's okay, am I sure I'm supposed to be here? Anyway, we had that lunch. I think that day, like, it was vibes on vibes on vibes, and it lasted till like 10 p.m. and everything was great, man. Everyone was nice. Like, the girls were all, you know, kind of cool to each other, kind of, not really completely. You could tell there is some beef in between, but it was all good vibes. Okay, so Smith takes my number and tells me that, no, I'm going to be hosting next week, and I'd really like it for you to be there. You're a really cool Han. I think you're pretty, you know. So I give him my number, and that's okay. And then there's 3 other girls that are there that also to follow me on Instagram, and we all follow each other on Instagram. Very, very nice girls. These were like really, really nice girls. I've never seen them in my whole entire life. They were really, really nice. So we follow each other. The week goes by, and Smith calls me. In fact, like, we speak almost every day with Smith and Jagumna. So we're speaking almost every day, and it's just like about anything, the weather, the sun, anything you can think of, we are literally speaking about it. And then he tells me that he's going to be hosting this house party. So now, of course, he asks me if I think I'm going to be able to make it to that house party. I asked him, where's the house party going to be? He told me that it's going to be happening in Val. Mind you, at that time, I did not even know where Val was. First, I was very skeptical about it, and he could tell that okay, I'm a bit nervous about what he's telling me. So he tells me, no, Nikki and Minaj are going to be there, so it's going to be a great time. We're going to be sleeping at the place where the house party is going to be happening. It's going to be safe. It's going to be nice. So best believe I'm like, okay, Saturday, the day of the party comes, and we all meet at McDonald's in the morning. There is two beautiful those 8-1 cars, they are both there, and we are ready to go. It is just full of girls, and so but there is Smith, and Smith has another friend who is going to call Smith's friend. Smith's friend is going to be called Leo. So Smith is with Leo, and both of them are gay guys, right? So Smith is with Leo, and you can see, I knew Leo. Leo was not there generally, but I knew Leo through Instagram. Leo was one of the KZN, like, big influencers. Like, he is a big influencer in the club space in KZN. So that's how I knew Leo. Anyway, we all get into the cars and everything, and we make our way to Val. In Val, guys, when I tell you, we have the time of our lives. Like, immediately from getting there, we got to the house. It was a pool party in what is that place called? Is it Paris or something like that in Val? And it was a gorgeous house, a very beautiful big house. Now the pool party started, it was just the girls there. Around around 8 to 9 at night, the guys also joined us. Now the guys that joined us weren't necessarily our age. Like, they weren't all necessarily in our age group, but there were some, maybe like 2 that were in our age group. But everyone else was just in their own age. Bazalwane, I can't lie to you guys. Now, throughout this house party at night, I am a bit uneasy because I'm like thinking, are these men going to want to sleep with us because of the amount of fun that we are all having? Because it looks like it's that type of party where everyone is going to have to sleep with someone. When I tell you, Luto, the men did not want to sleep with us. I remember very well, I slept in the same room as Nikki and Minaj, but Minaj left during the night because she saw a guy that she was interested in. Nothing was forced. Like, the guys were so chilled. These men were just happy to be here. Like, they were just living their childhood dreams, my dudes. They were just happy to be here. It's the day after the party, and we are all having a brunch at the place. There was a chef there. They called the chef in the morning, and we were having brunch, and after that it's time to go home. Brunch time, this other guy comes to me, and this was one of the 3 men that stood up when we were at Jimmy. And he starts chatting it up with me. When I tell you, okay, so let me be honest with you guys. This man was maybe, roughly, why ngalingani nobaba wami kodwa cisha lingane nobaba wami kodwa yabona kalingani exactly nobaba wami. Yeah, so me and this guy are having a very casual conversation, right? And he literally he doesn't look his age, but like, he was such a vibe. Like, the conversation was just so pure, so clean. He takes my number, and after that he tells me that he was going to be leaving before we start eating because he had commitments to attend to. Little did I know, but those commitments are 3 little commitments that he has running around in the house that were under the age of 4. So after brunch, everyone is happy, everyone is Gucci. Now, this is where the story begins. Guys, after brunch, the men leave, and it's time for us to also leave now. When I tell you, on our way out to leaving, because we all had like these little cute carry-on bags, like everyone just had a carry-on bag because we knew we were going to be sleeping there. When it was time for all of us to leave, at the door, kunama envelope, written our names, and had money in there. Maybe you would think I was lying. I'm lying. I wish Nani could never fit. Like, I need to get like a small camera for my life. Guys, they had envelopes for all of us, and these envelopes just had like 200 rands and 100 rands. Like, they were just stacked there. I will disclose how much I got. I got 15,000 rand. Mind you, I did not even kiss anyone. I did not even touch anyone. Literally, though, at the door there was 15K just waiting for me. And you cannot lie to me and say, no, take. Of course, upon receiving the money, I was like worried, like, why are they giving us money? So I asked my friend, okay, what's going on? Nikki's like, no, don't worry. This usually happens. Like, these guys usually like just give us money just to say thank you for such a good time. And I'm like, oh, okay. We get back to Joburg. I go back home. I'm a baller. As a baller. And Petrus Mutipe had nothing on me on that day because I get home and I am like a pegwa la endlini. Ningawathindi amabhodo la endlini. We are going out. And this one, I believe you me, we went out. Now during the week is going very slow for me. My friend Smith sends me a message and he's like, honey, can I please have your account number? I'm like, why? He's like, just send me your account number. And you know, like, we laugh about it and I get to use the kaka and my friend maybe only the lunch. You only want to I'm like, what is going on? Something is fishy here. But here's the thing about when things are going on and you know that something is fishy but you don't pay attention to it, is that in the moment. And you only realize later that no one is just going to send you 10 million out of the blue of the sky. So then I asked him, I'm like, what is this 10K for? He's like, no, remember the guy that you were speaking to at the party? He asked me to give you this money because he wasn't sure how to release it with you. I'm like, okay, but why? He's like, nah, he just asked me to give it to you and just say thank you. And I'm like, but y'all already gave me 15K. And my friend's like, nah, just take it, man. It's not a big deal or anything like that. I'm like, okay, singing millionaire 40. And one thing about easy money, easy come, easy go. Because now I see when you will buy the most dumbest thing. I remember getting into an Uber that day, and the Uber was 65 rand. Come put on Merry Christmas. Go Father Christmas in church. Now later in that week, Smith once again hits me and was like, listen, we are going to be at this club this time around, and listen girl, are you down? Let's go have fun. After that, we're going to be booked at Leonardo, and on Sunday we can go for massages or whatever it is that's going. He names all the girls that are going to be there. Mind you, at this time I already know like that when he's calling girls, these are the girls that he's calling, because we maybe started going out every Friday and Sunday. We were always out, like a weekend in, weekend out. It was now just like a cycle, you know, like, and here's the thing, specific men were always there, including that guy of mine. They were always there, but never said anything. They were just happy to be there. They were living their childhood dream, but little did I know. Now one day I'm just chilling at home and Smith's friend Leo texts me on Instagram. Now we never really like spoke much, but he knew that I was just like really a fan of him and his fashion sense and all of that. Text me, he's like, hey babes, are you down to go to Cape Town for a weekend, all expenses paid? We're just going to be going to Cape Town. We just need umoya or different, you know? And I'm like, oh, okay, no problem. I'm down for that. Not a problem at all. He says, please send your ID and all the details that I'm gonna need to book your flight. Now immediately when he says that, I go to my friend Nikki and I ask her, girl, are you going here? Because I wasn't going if Nikki wasn't going. Nikki's like, yep, I'll be there. Hi. All is good. She Cape Town covered. It's time for us to go to Cape Town, and when I tell you we got to Cape Town Thursday night. When we got to Cape Town Thursday night, we went for dinner, and it wasn't like a serious dinner, just like touch. And they had booked at is it Clifton, whatever it's called? Yes, Clifton Lab. And yeah, so after dinner we just went into the Airbnb. Gorgeous house once again. I don't expect anything less from them. And this time it was only 6 girls that were there. So usually we're more than 10 girls that are there, but this time it was only 6 girls that were there. Friday morning is where everything starts to take a sharp curve. Friday morning, the guys that are always there when we go out, including my guy and all of that, come in the morning, and you know, they tell us that no, we want to go on a yacht and all of that because of Nandi, wara sharp. Now when they're telling us that we want to go on a yacht and all of that, the guy that I was talking to, so me and him started talking on thingy on iMessage. He would like just send me like messages during the day and ask how am I doing and things like that. At that time, I did not know who he was or the fact that this person is like a big deal in SA, right? Sharp. So they say we're going on a yacht, and then he's like to me, before we go on a yacht, we were gonna go around 3 p.m. to the yacht. He says to me, can I just spend time with you before we go on the yacht? I'm like, not a problem, let's go. So we go to the night. I remember I posted about it on my Instagram, and everyone thought I was just there on my own. We go to take me to the nines, and this man, we order a bottle of champagne, and then so when we get to take me to the nines, first we don't sit where everyone else is sitting. It's like in a private room, but like, you know, like yes. So we get to take me to the nines and everything, and this man is like to me, listen, I'm not sure if you know what's going on. And I'm like, she's a Cape Town, so I have you fun. Like, what else can you be here for? This man laughs because one thing about me, guys, I'm always making jokes, but like I make jokes so that I don't cry and I don't get, especially when I'm nervous, right? So he laughs at me and he's like, no, I want you to be my girl. I'm like, to be okay, how are you thinking on jail up or how? Usongizendela 10,000 abangaka. Ngiphike futhi. No, angiphike. Athi kimi, I want you to be my girl. But there are terms and conditions. Yabo once wafaka terms and conditions, sengiyazi ukuthi yabona ke manje kubhedile ke. Yabo manje kodwa mina ngiyatami yaphela bathi kwathiwa terms and conditions ngiyazi mhlawumbe ngizongidayisa noma. I was afraid when he said that. Guys, when I tell you into I ngifuna yona lo abhuti lo ababa yela khehla yabo lapha ngimthola khona Smith. I want Smith no Leo. To wrap up this very long story, into ayengifuna yona lo bhuti omdala ocisha lingane nobaba wami kodwa kalingani nobaba wami. This man basically wanted me to be his hand only, right? But ngangengilali naye like directly. I wouldn't be sleeping with him. He wanted me to sleep with either Leo or Smith, and he would be watching and taking videos. And they were aware of that. They knew that. When I'm fun. And of course they were going to be getting a cut out of all of this, guys. Like, there's no way they were not going to be getting a cut. And mina gi honest, ngiyayithanda mina honest, because it happened once. And no. And no, after that it didn't happen. Like, after that I took a decision that Angeng was. Also, it happened because we were still in Cape Town and Nang Sam. Like, I was afraid. So it happened, we got back to Joburg. I cut ties with all of them. Even Nikki. I remember Nikki, 2 weeks later, Nikki saw me in Sandton. And guys, that's Mazi. But anyway, yeah, it wasn't going to work because gag isn't ezenziwela bayana bafana. I would have left there mhlawumbe angazi ngiyabasaba abafana basebenza club, ngiyabasaba abafana, I even today mangimbona because like I see a lot of these influencers with this guy, both of these guys. I'm just like, nani nyakwenza lokho, but the money is good, huh? The money is good, but
I tell all my female friends, if y'all gonna deal with these street niggas, understand what come with it. Story time. So y'all, I'm fresh out of motherfucking high school, right? You couldn't tell me I was not a hood celebrity, y'all. I was on club flyers. I'm living my motherfucking life, okay? It was not a party in Detroit, Michigan that I did not go to that motherfucking year. I'm not even exaggerating. Life was just fucking good, like excellent at that time. And I had made a whole new set of friends. Well, at the time, I thought they was my friends. friends. So I became cool with this girl. We gonna call her Michelle. Now, me and Michelle became cool in high school for real, right? But when me and this bitch became friends, it was like a match made in motherfucking heaven. This was probably the closest thing I've ever had to a sister in my life. I'm not even exaggerating. Now I would spit on the bitch grave, but at the time, that's really how I felt about it. So I believe it was like Saturday or some shit. And so we outside. Now, me and Michelle hung around two totally different crowds, okay? Her crowd was a little more hood, a little more, raunchy. My crowd was the same, but in a different way. If you pick it up what I'm putting down. But we actually had hella friends in common, and all of our friends kind of got along. So growing up, I had this other homegirl. We gonna call her Yaya. Now, I was like 19. Yaya was probably like 15. I know you probably like, why the fuck was you hanging out with a little girl? Nobody knew this bitch real age, okay? I feel like every city, especially if your city a little hood, you got a little young bitch that's like turned fucking with all the rappers and shit like that, but don't nobody know her real age. That was Yaya, okay? Remember that, because that is very important in this story. So it's me, Michelle, and Yaya. We pull up to this motherfucking block party, okay? Now, I don't know who was hosting the motherfucking block party, but I know everybody was at that bitch, okay? Anybody from like my generation who was like relevant at that time was there. Now, I don't know if it's because Yaya was so motherfucking young, y'all, but this little bitch just could not handle her liquor to save her life, okay? So before we pull up to the party, she already drunk, okay? Fucked up. But she not like sloppy drunk. Like at this point, she still had it together. She just was a little tipsy. Let me say tipsy. So we pull up to the party, we hop out the car. We start making our rounds, tiptoeing through the, party, seeing people from school. Hey, what up, woo woo. Now remember I told y'all, this is not my crowd, this is Michelle crowd, okay? But we bump into this bitch, we gonna call her Keisha, okay? Apparently Keisha is known for beating bitches up. She a big bitch too. But I ain't know nothing about that. I don't even know who the bitch is for real, because this is not my crowd. But Keisha's best friend and Keisha had words with Yaya because of one of their baby daddies. It was some shit like that. Mind you, Yaya drunk as fuck, okay? So she walking up to the bitch Keisha trying to be friendly, okay? Keep in mind, Keisha and Michelle are friends like this. Keisha's best friend was also at the motherfucking party too. So Yaya just drunk as hell, like, y'all my bitches, I love y'all, this, that, and the third, we ain't beef about no nigga, da-da-da-da. So I keep grabbing her, like, come on, like, let's go over here, let's go talk to them, this, that, and the third, like, let's get the fuck on. Literally everybody is motherfucking staring, okay? At this point, the bitch is causing a motherfucking scene, okay? Now, the party was on the west side of Detroit, but it was like some project niggas parties or some shit like that, or whatever the case may be. So keep in mind, niggas is walking around this bitch with big ass guns, like all type of shit, like you doing too fucking much, okay? So I pull our ass apart. Come on, take your ass over here, y'all. This little bitch takes off motherfucking running down the street. I would show y'all the street that I'm on right now, but I can't. But y'all, she's running around like a little kid, and me, Michelle, and our other homegirl, we gonna call her Keisha, we all chasing this bitch around. Oh, the block party was on Puritan. The block party was on Puritan. I remember. It was on Puritan. Oh, we chasing this bitch up Puritan. It's on Puritan, okay? The bitch like, no, I'm not going with y'all. Y'all bitches acting fake. Y'all letting bitches play in my face. Da, 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 da. Bitch, who is letting somebody play in your face? We telling you to get the fuck out of these bitches' face, because if this girl whoop your ass, I don't know what you want me to do. Also, keep in mind, Yaya daddy is a real street nigga. So, even if she do get our ass whooped, I don't know what come with that. So, daddy might be one of them niggas that'll blow a nigga head off about you. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm really trying to de-escalate the situation. So, she running off taking cash shit, y'all. Y'all, she run off down Puritan. I don't know where the fuck this bitch done went. But my homegirl, Michelle, she used to run track and shit. So, she chasing the bitch, end up finding the bitch, bringing her ass back. So I had pulled my car around. I said, bitch, it's time to go. She's causing a big ass scene. Everybody's staring. It's just bad, okay? So I'm trying to get the bitch in the car. She not getting in the car to save her motherfucking life. She like, no, my nigga about to come get me. I'm waiting. We like, yo, nigga. Girl, there ain't no nigga coming to get you. Me personally, I just got a rule where if you are my friend and you drunk and I ain't never seen you with that nigga, you not leaving with that nigga. Especially if it's not your boyfriend or some shit. You get what I'm saying? I'm like, no, you getting in the motherfucking car. So she like, no, I'm about to call my nigga. So she call her nigga. Immediately when a nigga get on the phone, I automatically recognize who he is because I be listening to the nigga music. The nigga dead now, but I remember his music. Like, I know his voice, or whatever the case may be. So soon as she put him on speaker, me, Michelle, and Keisha, we all looking at each other like, bitch, she just called. Oh, fuck no. Keep in mind, the niggas parties that she calling, they got beef with. So I hang up the phone. I say, Yaya, get your ass in this motherfucking car. This time she finally get her ass in the motherfucking car, okay? But now we can't find Keisha, okay? So we call Keisha. We like, come on, bitch, we about to go. We about to drop her off. We can just come back afterwards. Let's go get some Tony out. No, it didn't go that way. That motherfucking hard. Soon as Keisha get in the car, Yaya jump out of the motherfucking car. Like a badass kid, okay? Just acting a motherfucking fool. So at this point, Keisha was like, beat her ass, right? Now, from what I know, Keisha is kind of like a little bit of a fighter. So she like, beat this bitch ass. I ain't got time for that. This bitch is a kid. It's okay when y'all wake up, y'all will be good. Beat her ass. So my homegirl, Michelle, was like, bitch, come get in the car. This bitch, Yaya, starts swinging. So Michelle, who is not a fighter and cannot fight, is skinny as fuck. Take this bitch, swing her in the middle of the street, and like, damn near body slam the bitch. So what Yaya do? Yaya get her bad ass up. I'm about to call my nigga. I'm about to call my nigga. But this time she called another nigga. Now me, I don't really listen to too much Detroit rap. So I don't know. I didn't know who he was when he was on the phone, but I knew who he was, if that makes sense. She put the nigga on speakerphone, right? Michelle and Keisha was fucking with the same nigga as Yaya too. So they know who this nigga is too. I'm not gonna say who the nigga is, but the nigga who she was talking about has beef with the first nigga that she called, and they both got beef with the niggas' parties that we at, okay? I know it's getting messy, I know. So Keisha and them calling them like, don't pull up, you know, we at such and such party, it's, you know, we don't want y'all to get involved with this shit, this, that, and the third, we about to leave, this, that, and the third. The nigga's like, fuck that nigga, we pulling up, I'm on there, I don't give a fuck what a nigga talking about, nigga ain't telling me where I go, da-da-da, on this tough shit. Now, me personally, if you know anything about me, I don't play that getting shot shit. All of that getting shot, going to jail, all of that street shit, I don't want no parts of that shit. Keep in mind, they in my motherfucking car. And we at these niggas' party. We in these niggas' hood. They shoot this bitch up, they can hide our bodies and act like ain't shit happened. You get what I'm saying? So now I'm getting mad with Yaya. I tell her, get your motherfucking ass in the car. Straight like that. And I don't like yelling at girls, but I did. Get your motherfucking ass in the car. She get her ass in the motherfucker. Soon as she closed the door, a white motherfucking Durango ride past us. Now remember I told y'all who party this is, okay? Now in Detroit, it's a thing where like, if you in a certain nigga hood, you don't play they ops music because they'll take that as disrespect. They was playing these niggas ops music. So in my head, this is either the ops or some niggas who don't know no better. And I was correct. It was the motherfucking ops because it was the first nigga Yaya called. So she walking up to this car like, my man here. She jump out the car. We gonna call him Scooter. Scooter, what up, baby? I miss you. This, that, and third. So Keisha, none of us really know this nigga for real. Not trying to be funny, but none of my friends have talked to him. And I'm surprised that Yaya even talked to him because I don't think he had no money for real. But anywho, my homegirl Michelle and them was telling him like, no, please go. Like, she got some other people about to pull up, this, that, and third. Like, this could get messy. Soon as they say that, a motherfucking black Chrysler come down the street. I'm talking, this motherfucking car was so packed, it felt like, it was like 80 niggas in one car. I'm not exaggerating. Okay, I am exaggerating, but it was definitely a cool, probably like 10 niggas in one car. I'm not lying. So the nigga in the car, and he got all his homeboys in there, all his little brothers in that bitch too. I immediately recognized one of them niggas I went to school with, who I didn't like, by the way. I can't stand your bitch ass. So now she running up to their car telling them, open the door, I'm about to go with y'all. Open the door, I'm about to live with y'all. We like, no the fuck she not y'all, she drunk, this, that, and the third. No, come on. I pulling her back, right? So me and Keisha grabbing her, right? The nigga in the front seat of the car, who we know for a fact be killing people, with a big ass gun on his lap, he say, everybody back away from my man's car, I'm gonna air this bitch out. Calm as fuck, just like that. Nigga, we step back in sync. I'm not even exaggerating. I'm talking about we step back so motherfucking quick. You ain't got to tell me twice. Bye, Yaya, bitch. Fuck it. I'll call you daddy. I don't know what to tell you. So Yaya is standing by the door. At this point, she not in the car. I think she got scared a little bit. The nigga open the door, snatch Yaya in, and pull off. Our motherfucking heart is beating, right? Then it's like, okay, oh well, bitch, you went. Like, you went with them, okay? So I'm real cool with Yaya cousin. I call her cousin like, hey, bitch, your cousin just got kidnapped by such and such, such and such, such and such. She like, what the fuck you mean my cousin just got kidnapped? I'm like, yes, that bitch got kidnapped for real. She went off with them, all type of shit. Y'all, her and her friends is getting mad. Cause they like, why would y'all bring her out there if y'all knew she was gonna be doing da-da-da? Bitch, we ain't knew she act like this. I ain't used to seeing a bitch act like this. Long story short, y'all, cause I'm running out of time and it's a long ass story. I get a phone call about 5 minutes after that. I was dropping one of my homegirls off. Now, mind you, one of my homegirls used to live on Linwood. I'm dropping her off in the middle of the motherfucking night, which if you from Detroit, you know that's not where you want to be. I get a call talk about some, they trying to touch me, they trying to do the ride to me. Bitch, I'm flying down Telegraph to go get my homegirl. End up picking her up, and then we dropped her off to her cousins. And she ain't never went out with my ass again. But wait, y'all, she lost her Louis bracelet. My dumb ass talk about some, it's okay, I'll buy you another one. She talked about some, you know the bracelet was Louis. I said, oh no, bitch.
3 teenagers in Arkansas were convicted of a devil-worshipping ritual that took the lives of 3 little 8-year-old boys in the woods. But were they really guilty? May 5th of 1993, around 7 p.m., authorities received a call from Mark Byers. He was calling to report his 8-year-old son, Christopher, missing. Christopher, along with his 2 best friends, 8-year-old Stevie Branch and 8-year-old Michael Moore, had last been seen riding their bikes together near a wooded area called Robin Hood Hills in West Memphis in Arkansas. Putting 2 and 2 together, they quickly realized that all 3 boys had not been seen in a while. Like I said, the call first came in around 7 p.m. Authorities responded, headed over to Robin Hood Hills to begin looking for the boys, but 30 minutes passed, and then 45 minutes, and then an hour. Officers searched through the night along with family and friends and neighbors, but they found nothing. The following day, an officer noticed a little boy's shoe floating in the creek. When he got closer, a human body floated to the surface, and shortly after, the other 2 bodies were discovered in that same creek. All 3 boys were deceased. Their bodies were covered in wounds and injuries. They were not wearing anything, and their hands and feet were tied. Their bikes were also found nearby, tangled in the creek and the trees. Each boy had his right hand tied to his right ankle and his left hand tied to his left ankle. It also appeared that one of the boys had his lower region cut off. It was believed that SA had taken place, and Stevie also had a lot of skull fractures. The autopsy later showed that Michael and Christopher both had over 60 separate injuries, and Stevie had around 20. It was horrific. My heart breaks for those parents because the moment it was confirmed that their little boys were never coming home was the moment that their entire worlds were flipped upside down completely. Now, the work of the West Memphis Police Department has been heavily scrutinized, in part because of the way they treated the crime scene. It was not properly secured or processed in the way that it should have been when you have a crime of such magnitude. For example, the length of time their bodies had been left in the water obviously played a big part in the condition of the bodies. It's also been said that detectives removed the bodies from the water hours before the coroner arrived at the scene to recover them, which affects the investigation a lot. The fact that the bodies were left in the water in itself makes it harder to determine certain details when trying to figure out what really happened. And it was their belief that certain things happened when in reality they could not say if they did or did not happen with 100% certainty. I'm not telling you what to believe, by the way. I just want to give you all the information that's out there. Apart from that, the crime scene overall was just not preserved in the way that it should have been. Crucial pieces of evidence were not taken into consideration. People who lived in the area were not interviewed. Call it what it is. It was a very sloppy job. The small West Memphis Police Department were way in over their heads, and they were not really accepting help from bigger police departments with bigger resources. Add to that the fact that the public was on them to solve this case, to figure out what happened, and to put the people responsible behind bars. So not only were they acting like they didn't really know what they were doing, they were also feeling the pressure from the public to solve this case ASAP. So what do? It feels like they go out and try and find a person that they can that could make sense, and then revolve the case and the evidence around that person to make it fit in the story in the way that they want it to. Right off the bat, investigators decided that this was a satanic ritual, and they worked off of that assumption. 18-year-old Damien Echols was who they set their eyes on. Damien has been described as an outsider. He didn't really have any friends. He was into the gothic sort of vibe. He usually dressed in dark clothing. He liked listening to heavy metal music. He also often read about spirituality, witchcraft, and the occult. He had a very rough upbringing, instability at home. He had dropped out of high school and had a history of mental health struggles. Because of that, back then, people considered him to be different. But in the eyes of authorities, that also made him the kind of person who would be capable of committing this crime. So investigators start looking into him, and they very quickly also focus on his friend, 16-year-old Jason. Jason was known to be a good student. He did share some similarities with Damien when it came to the kind of music that they liked and different similar interests. Both boys also had a history of petty crimes. They had been arrested previously for things such as vandalism and shoplifting. So solely based on those facts, because they had a history of petty crimes and they were considered to be socially different, within only a couple days of the crime, the WMPD decides that they are on the right track with these boys, even though there was absolutely no forensic evidence whatsoever tying them to either the 3 victims nor the crime scene. However, their suspicions only grew when they brought in Damien Echols for questioning, and he pointed out certain details about the crime that had not yet been released to the public. They took note of that. The third name that kept being brought up in their investigation was 17-year-old Jesse Miskelly. Jesse wasn't a friend of Damien and Jason's, but they knew of each other. They were acquaintances. Jesse had also dropped out of high school and he was known to have intellectual limitations. He had an IQ that was considered to be below average, and it made it difficult for him to fully understand complex situations and or to resist pressure during questioning. So when he was brought in for questioning, instead of providing him with someone who could be there to make sure that he was fully understanding what he was being asked, he was interviewed for 12 hours with no lawyer, no parent, no one there to assist him. At the beginning of his questioning, he says, "I had nothing to do with these little boys. I don't know what happened. I don't know who did it." But as hours passed of him sitting in that chair being pressured to answer leading questions over and over again, Jesse eventually says that he does know who did it. And he names 18-year-old Damien Echols and 16-year-old Jason Baldwin, and he says that they did do it as part of a satanic cult. And then he eventually says that he played a part in it himself as well. He says that on May 5th, he met up with Damien and Jason. They all walked to Robin Hood Hills together when they saw Christopher, Stevie, and Michael there on their bikes. He says that Damien then called the three little boys to walk over to them to cross this bridge sort of area, walked them over to an even more isolated area when Damien and Jason ambushed them. Jesse claimed that he just watched as Damien and Jason used not only their hands but also sticks and eventually a sharp weapon to inflict the injuries on the boys. He also mentions that one of the little boys, Michael, tried to run away, but that he caught him and walked him back over to Damien and Jason. Afterwards, he says they tied the boys and walked them over to the creek, which is such a sad and scary thing to imagine. However, his confession was all over the place. There were certain things that were not making sense or were not adding up. He would say one thing and then change it, say another thing, and right after confessing, he immediately recanted his confession, saying that he was not understanding what he was being asked and saying that he was very scared of the police officers that were questioning him. And I know this is a massive piece of the story, don't worry, we're going to talk about it further, but putting aside who committed the crime, someone did. And that's so awful. 3 8-year-old little boys probably crying out for their moms. The image of it haunts me in my sleep, but that was their reality. Based off of some of the injuries the boys had, investigators theorized that a sharp weapon was used. So investigators then think, okay, we need to find the weapon. The first place they go looking for it is a lake directly behind where Damien Echols lived. And they find it. A lot of people believe, I would say most people believe, that the weapon was planted there purposefully by authorities to have some sort of physical evidence. Because let me remind you, there is nothing at all tying the boys directly to the crime scene other than Jesse's confession, which he took back immediately. Jesse Miskelly stated that although he was read his Miranda rights, he did not fully understand them, yet the Arkansas Supreme Court ruled that he did understand them and that his confession was voluntary and not forced. So despite having no evidence tying these boys to the crime, all 3 of them were arrested and very quickly convicted. Damien Echols was sentenced to death, Jason Baldwin was sentenced to life, and Jesse, despite the fact that his statement was what prosecutors leaned on most to use against Damien and Jason, was sentenced to life plus 40 years. Throughout the following years, all of them made appeals and every single appeal was denied. And people of the public began paying closer attention to this case, thinking, are these boys guilty? Like, really? What is there to say that they did do it? It was crazy. Documentaries started being made about the case, movies, more and more people were talking about it, big celebrities were speaking on it, all agreeing that these teenagers were being punished more for the way that they looked and dressed instead of for what they had actually supposedly done. And over time, the uneasy feeling grew into outrage as more people learned about the lack of physical evidence and the inconsistencies in Jesse Miskelly's confession. Support for the West Memphis 3 exploded, first locally and then nationwide. In 2004, using new technology, DNA from the crime scene was retested, and the results showed that the DNA was not a match to Damien, not a match to Jason, and not a match to Jesse. However, hair tied into the knots used to tie up one of the victims was consistent with the DNA of Stevie's stepfather, Terry Hobbs, and his good friend, David Jacoby. Terry and David had been together the day that the boys disappeared. Their DNA was at the crime scene. Damien, Jason, and Jesse's were not. And that made the state of Arkansas eventually allow the 3 now men to take an Alford plea in 2011 after being in prison for over 18 years for a crime that they did not commit. An Alford plea meant that the state would let them walk free without officially admitting guilt, while the state still got to keep the convictions on record. In other words, they got their freedom back, but the convictions were still on their record. Today, all 3 of them are free, but understandably so, their lives look completely different. Damien Echols lives in New York, and he has built a quiet life as a writer and an artist, often speaking out about wrongful convictions and spirituality. Jason Baldwin, he lives in Seattle, where he works on criminal justice reform and helps others who have been wrongfully imprisoned. Jesse Miss Kelly has mostly stayed out of the public eye, living a private life back in Arkansas. And although they are no longer behind bars, their convictions still technically and legally stand, which is so incredibly frustrating. In April of 2024, the Arkansas Supreme Court approved new DNA testing in the case. The DNA was to be tested using a new system that would allow them to extract the smallest little particles from inside fabric. The plan being to use that to extract DNA from the shoelaces that bound the 3 boys. This is a quote regarding that quote. They're going to go in there and literally unknot those ligatures where they know that those skin cells are tucked into that fabric, and they're going to extract them. I think there's no question that we are going to know who tied those knots, end quote. I know that there were court hearings about this new DNA testing throughout 2025, but as of right now, I couldn't find any update on it. So I guess we will see. I want to end this video by remembering Stevie, Christopher, and James. Stevie was full of energy, always smiling. He loved riding his bike and being outdoors. Michael was a Boy Scout. He was brave, kind, and always willing to do the right thing. And Christopher was the baby of his family who had a big personality and a heart that was just as big.
I really hate it when bitches challenge me like I won't take your motherfucking man. And I had to prove a point when I was 15. And let me tell you, I'm not proud of it. I am proud of it. Just because this bitch, fuck you. Fuck you. You didn't have to come at me like that the first time you met me. Anyways, I got shipped off to the summer camp. It was either that or juvie. So I went to summer camp, the mental hospital. Anyways, I just told you about it. Anyways, I go there and like it's my first day, it was probably like my first week, right? They let me off the unit finally because you had to do like a whole week on the unit and then you get to come off the unit. It's like they fucking condition you. Anyway, so I get off the unit, I go to breakfast with all the other girls. I sit at this, we're in assigned seatings. I sit at this table. Across from me is a girl from another unit, okay? And this bitch turns around and says, "Oh, hey, are you new here?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Oh, cool. You see that boy over there?" And then proceeds to point at a boy who looked exactly, I can only describe him as like a bulldog with the, yeah. So I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "That's my man. Don't talk to him or I'll whoop your ass." I'm talking to that motherfucker first chance I get. Fuck you, bitch. That, like, and then I was, and like, in my head, that's what I was thinking. But what I said was, "Okay." And she's like, "Okay, I'm just letting you know. Where are you from?" And then she tried to talk to me, and then the staff told her we can't talk during breakfast. Cool, great. I don't want to talk to this. Now, I wasn't that girl that wanted to start drama or being like involved in some extra shit. You know, I just wanted to sit my little time out, do my thing, and get the fuck out of there. Because I was expected to be there like, what, 6 months? So I didn't really want any problems. I was just kind of low-key chilling until I had a meeting with my therapist. And she asked me, she's like, "How long do you think you're going to be here?" And I'm like, 6 months. That's what the judge said. And she's like, "No. Not with this list of mental illnesses, no. We're more so looking at 2 years." Bitch, 2 years? 2 years, mother? 2 years? Nah. 17? No. But it was set in stone. They already told my mom. My mom signed off on the 2-year contract. Like, fuck it, she'll be there for 2 years. Medicaid signed off on it. It was already set in stone before I even had this conversation. So now that I know that I'm gonna be here for 2 fucking years, fuck these bitches. I'm having fun now, ho. Fuck all y'all. We can catch it at any time. I'm here for 2 years. So then, I started the school, right? They put me in school, and there was that boy, me and him, we had the same science class. Right. Science was my morning period. Well, he sat next to me in science. It all played so perfectly. It was like, it was a master plan. It was supposed to be this way. Anyways, I had kind of already heard from the other girls, because mind you, the first like 2-3 weeks you're there, you do homeschooling, you stay on the unit, you're like a level 1, and then they put you out in the school. So I got to go to the school. But I had heard from the other girls. That they were having a little rocky relationship. Okay. So I kind of already knew how I was coming. Well, in science, it wasn't that serious. The teacher was so low-key as fuck. Like, she was so cool. So she had us do, like, a small little presentation. We watched one of those, like, Ben and Jerry videos, you know, with the robot and the guy. And then she would give us, like, little bullshit work packs and then pack out, like, cards for us to play. So there was this game we played. And this boy came to me, he's like, you know how to play this game? And I'm like, no. He's like, oh, it's like everybody here knows how to play it. You want to play? I'll teach you. And I'm like, cool. So he taught me how to play the game. We're bonding. We're talking. You know, I'm asking him about, you know, life outside of here. You know, whatever. I'm running my little game. And I got that bitch. Hook and sinker, okay? Hook and sinker. I got that bitch. Because he started talking to me about old girl. And he was telling me how they was having troubles and they wasn't getting along. And anyways, so me and this boy got to talking, and he was basically like, we became friends. Let's just say we became really good friends because he was talking to me on an emotional level. Libra shit. Anyways, so then the days go by. It probably was a solid week that went by, and me and him got real close. And I had finally made my level 3 to where I could go eat lunch with the boys. No, I don't think I was the level 3 yet. I don't remember. I know that something happened and me and him were celebrating it. And that's when he asked me to be his girlfriend. And I said yes. And he was still with that bitch. He was like, I'm gonna break up with her. And I wanna be with you. Like, I fucks with you. You do? Anyways, so, as he should. He ends up, I guess, breaking up with her or whatever. And then, like, me and him started dating. It wasn't nothing serious. I didn't really take it seriously because at this point, I didn't even like the dude. Like, honestly, he was cool as a friend, but I did not like him as a boyfriend. He was not my type. He was, no.